Well, the start to the weekend certainly ended up being a lot better than the week leading up to it. It's been kind of I don't want to be whiny about it. I just don't think that we had a great run over the last 7 or 10 days. We had horses that raced good. We had a lot of horses that I think it would be fair to categorize it as underperformed. And as we headed into the weekend, I was pretty optimistic with what I looked at the lineup. Now, there was no slam dunks. I told you guys our best shot to win was 3-Point Blue Chip. But on his terms. It was funny, Tim was one that it never dawned on me. Tim was the one that put it in perspective and said, he's a lot like Kemp in the sense that you can't drive him however you want, right? He'll race great under his parameters. No on the front, no first over. But if you got him bottled up and covered up on a helmet now, felt like an idiot. I got him out second over into the flow behind one of the favorites. I thought I was laughing. It didn't take long for me to realize that I was in the wrong place. You couldn't stay in looking at how the race was. The two horses sitting 1 and 2 or 20-1. I couldn't come first over. And I could feel the heat on my shoulders of everybody that bet that horse. Now, if you're one of them, I'm well aware. Anthony, you're 4 to 5 and you're not moving on a 20-1 shot. Not a good look. But you have to know the horse, and you can leave and sit with him, and he'll trot hard. That's as hard as I've seen him trot in a while. And listen, I just looked last night. Never dawned on me until last night. I never drove 3-Point Blue Chip before. I've driven him plenty of times, training, schooling. I know the horse inside and out, but never one time did I put an official chart line in behind 3-Point Blue Chip. But as I said, I know him well. Especially after training him this week. Couldn't even score him down that good. He's just a moody bugger. He was like that at 2. You compound that through an injury that he went through, breaking that foot. He still has that screw in his coffin bone. Take all that into account. Give him a year off to think about it. Train him back and race him. That's what you get. He's fresh. He's sharp. He's feeling good. I'll tell you what, Julie Miller, Ernie Henry, those guys, they have him looking like $1 million. But he was the same old horse. And I didn't know if he'd run him down, cut him loose. He was trotting as hard as he could out of that turn into the stretch. He was going as hard as he could, but could he sustain it? Would he sustain it? He did. He still run him down to get the job done. So very pleased with what I saw from 3-Point Blue Chip last night. As I said to Tim, this is the type of horse that could race right up into the open at the Meadows. The speed isn't. I've never seen him race and never raced him where you're like, they're just too fast for him. He'll get himself beat, and you can get him beat and putting him in a bad spot. But I've never seen him just flat out beat because he wasn't good enough. Anyway, very happy with 3-Point Blue Chip last night for our clients. It stayed in for so long on him. I know it's not the Hambletonian. I know it's not the Breeders' Crown. It's not where we wanted to be with 3-Point Blue Chip and for Tom also. But I'll tell you what, a win is a win, and it's a great stepping stone and hopefully a little bit of a foundation moving forward for him. Lots of classes in this area for 3-Point Blue Chip, as I said to Julie and as I said to Tom, kind of handcuffed in Oak Grove, right? You have 1 or 2 classes. Same thing we went through with Brace for Landing. 1 or 2 classes, and that's it. So glad to see him get off on the right foot, get back to us, get off on the right foot, and actually race very, very good. 55 and 2. His own last half had to be 56 and a piece. So I was pleased with what I saw from 3-Point Blue Chip. Now, that isn't where we kicked off the day, though. We kicked off the day with Stay Close. I didn't know how he'd be coming in off an abysmal line, getting away at the back, looking rough, being out of gear, even for him. How would he bounce back? And truthfully, I was, as they said go, I'm thinking 2-hole behind Aaron. But I got to hold position because I can't let Aaron go. If Aaron drops down to the rail, it's a clear path for one of those 2 horses on the outside of him just to keep coming. Aaron's going to let him go and follow him or remove. Now I'm in the 3-hole where I don't want to be. I just kept letting him trot into the turn, and as people started filing back, Stay Close felt good. He does some of his best work on the front end. So that's just where I left him. Put Aaron in behind me. Really, I could see in the TV that the other horse, the other contender in the race on paper, was sitting third. Just wait for him to come and hope that we got enough to win the race. He's off 2 weeks. His schedule has been a bit scattered of late. It's up to him. And he did what he does. Winners win. I say that all the time, right? Winners always find a way to win. The math, the fractions were on our side. He raced great, finished up great. Very, very happy with what I saw from our boys. Stay close. Now, really don't care. I had a message, an email this morning from Jason, one of our clients, one of my partners, Jason, saying, Anthony, really don't care. Doesn't look competitive in the stakes. Can we not send her back to Mohawk? Well, part of your statement is 100% correct. She does not look like a stake filly. And I told my partners this, when we sent her down there, there's no cakewalks, right? There's no easy miles in the stake races anywhere. I don't care where you are. They're not going to give money away. And they certainly weren't giving it away. Really don't care. Very reminiscent of 5 Fish Species last year, right? Trotting about 57. Do her work pretty good. But when push comes to shove and you got her in with horses that can trot faster than her, she looked inferior. The biggest thing for Really Don't Care is her breeding, right? Chapter 7 filly, out of a sister to When Doves Cry, that whole family's fantastic breeding. That's where her worth is. That's where it always was going to be. That's why we had planned for an exit strategy like this. But we're not going to breed her right now. We'll keep racing her. And the other part of the statement, though, can we send her back to Harry? Absolutely not. The non-winners of 2 went 54-3 and 55 last week. The non-winners of 2 fillies doesn't fill all the time. She doesn't fit the maiden anymore. There's going to be 0 easy races at Mohawk. Taking her out of a place she can't do to send her to a place where I know she absolutely can't do now is not the way we're going to go. So she's actually at Yonkers with Megan also. Non-winners of 2 at Yonkers. Now there's a place for her to probably be. And this is where it comes back to that very reminiscent feeling of 5 Fish Species, right? Feels like the same type of situation. So I'm not really sure. Blanton's Blue might be in the right place because I don't know whether non-winners of 4 and stuff like that fits in as far as Poconos or even Yonkers or anywhere. Can he do? I don't know. He definitely do in Buffalo at his next start for sure. But can he do right now in Yonkers, Poconos, wherever? I'm not sure. Our only option at Northfield Park was that condition claimer again, which I'm not opposed to putting him in. 30,000 claimer, he goes for 45, non-winners of 7. Yeah, I don't got a problem racing him in there. Can probably do in there. But I thought we'd look for something a little bit different for Blanton's Blue. So I thought we'd try him down there and see what fresh set of eyes. Megan's a great horse person, obviously. You see the work she does for us. She did already in regards to Pickpocket. We'll talk about him in a minute. Mounts, tactical mounts and those horses. We see all that. So very, very happy with obviously happy with the work that she's been doing and eager to see what she comes up with Blanton's Blue and Really Don't Care. Now, tactical mounts races tonight. We'll talk about her in a minute. But last night we also had Pickpocket racing. So I was a little concerned. Pickpocket had bled a little in the qualifier, and the Lasix was good, but it's not magic, right? You're going into I'm glad the racing was at night, right? It's very humid right now. Now it's not too bad today, but yesterday it was still pretty humid, hot. I was looking for a cooler evening for him. You don't want to give him any reasons to bleed a little bit, and man, he raced good. There was a few little specks showing there, but he did have a strong week, right? Shipped all the way back, trained 3 days out. So not shocked, but it does give us an opportunity. If last night was Pickpocket at 85-90%, I'm confident in saying that they can have him at 100 for next week. James was happy with the way he traveled, the way he raced. Like to see him finish off his lunch a little bit, supper, so to speak. But as I said, there was a little mucus, some allergy stuff, some mucus there. There were a few little flecks of blood there. But I wasn't shocked to hear that. I was happy to hear the word few, small, little bit. Very happy to hear that. Not so happy, obviously, that we ended up in an open draw. But the rail's not a great place for Mohawk, but he's pretty good. He's pretty sure-footed, and I'm pretty confident that James can get him out of there in a decent position. He does put a few little steps in now and again, but I think we're in a good spot. I would rather have 1 than 10, 1 than 9. I would love to draw 6 or 7, but 1 is still 1, right? You just got to protect. If you can protect position, then 1's fine. Very pleased with his race last night. James drove him perfect.